Hi lovely people, welcome to this video. I have been using a bullet journal for years. I have been into cute planners since I can remember, and the same goes for journaling. I have enjoyed making my own inserts for both my ring bound planner as well as my traveler's notebooks. So I think the step into bullet journaling was really only a natural step. I will see if I can find some pictures of my old planner inserts and the setups that I did a couple of years ago because of my fantasy for you. For this video though, I wanted to talk to you about my bullet journal setup as it is right now. I already shortly talked about my bullet journal in my video on 5 things that I started doing to simplify my life. And you have shown some interest into diving a little bit deeper. So that is what we're doing today. So I will be showing you my bullet journal setup as it is right now and how I am using the system and how I set it up basically to work for me, because that is something that I really love about the bullet journal. It is so easy to completely personalize it and set it up so that it works for you and your brain. That is what I love about my bullet journals. So I am using a Rhodia notebook. This is the A5 soft cover notebook. I think it's in the taupe color. So I've been using these notebooks for years. I think quite shortly after I actually got into bullet journaling, I started using these notebooks. They work really well with my fountain pen ink, and yeah, I really just like the look of them. I like the feel of them. They are the perfect size for me. I love the A6 size. So yeah, A6 Rhodia soft cover notebook. Really love this. So if you look at my journal drawer, you will see a whole row of these little journals next to each other in different colors. I really like the look of that. So yeah, this is something that I've been using for a couple of years. Love it. Kind of tend to go back to this journal over and over again because it just works for me. Take a sip of coffee. So let's flip to tabletop and I will show you what's inside this lovely little notebook. So we are tabletop. I kind of need to figure out how this is going to work with 2 different cameras because I'm not used to it, but we'll see if this is gonna work. So this is my bullet journal up close. Let's open it up. So on the first page, we have my index, and this is basically just an overview of the important pages that I might want to refer back to. So this one I started at the beginning of 2023, so you'll see that there's just 2023 in here, but I will also be fitting 2024 in here when that comes around. So that's the first page in my bullet journal, always have been the first page in my bullet journal. I don't use it a awful lot, but it's nice to just have it, so I know that I can refer back to this if I need it. Then going on to my monthly overview. So I basically just flipped forward to the first month where I don't have any sensitive information in there, any appointments or anything, because I do like to plan forward quite a bit. So we're all the way onto December because that's the first completely empty month that I have in here, and I don't really feel like sharing too much information with the internet right now. This is what my monthly overview looks like. On here I always have right here to the side of the days any birthdays or holidays that might be happening. So I have Christmas on here and I have some birthdays on here, so that's always how I note that for myself, just on the right side of each day. There's quite a bit more going on once this is all filled in. So that is my monthly overview shortly. So my monthly overview holds everything appointment wise. I'll put it in the tiny little squares. So all of these squares, they're not a whole lot of space in here, and that's actually how I like it. So this kind of protects me from over planning and getting completely overwhelmed by the amount of stuff that I have to do, because I do need my me time as well. So Workday, I will always note right at the bottom of a square. I'll just put the times. And then teaching days, I will either put a Y for a yoga class or a M for a meditation class, and then the starting time. I'll put that typically towards the top of a square. Any other appointments, I'll put somewhere just probably along the middle of the square. I do have a slight color-coded system here. So often I'll just use a pencil for anything that has not happened yet, and then I will write it in with ink once the event has happened, because it's really annoying just having things crossed off all the time, especially in such tiny little squares. It makes it look really messy really quickly if I have things crossed out and then written around it. So before anything has happened, I'll typically just write it down in pencil, and then once the event is done, that's when I will switch to writing it in ink. So for work, I will typically use a simple black ink. Then for my classes, so basically Bridge of Life, I will often write it down in a grey ink, and any personal things I will write in the color of the month, because I do like using a monthly color just to make it a little bit more fun. Then you'll see that towards the left of the page I just have some blank space. This is where I may put down any time sensitive to-do, so anything that is for this month specifically. I don't use the daily pages anymore because I just found they weren't too necessary for me anymore. I like just having the monthly overview, but I do have a running to-do list on my computer in a Google Docs document, so I can reach that both from my computer or through my phone, which is nice, and I can just reach it from wherever I am really. And then anything that might be time sensitive, I will put towards the left of the page of my bullet journal. And then here, which is still a blank space here, I will actually keep track of the classes that I'm teaching, so that I don't teach the same class like twice in a week or anything like that. I have about 15 classes that I rotate through, so I will keep track of those in here. So that is what this will look like once that is filled in. Oh, my battery is flashing at me already. Okay, be right back. So then going all the way to the back of my bullet journal, we have my vision board. So I already did an entire video on my vision board, so I'll make sure to have that linked for you up in the cards as well as down in the description box, so you can check that out if that's something that you are interested in. So this is something that I did a couple of years back and then kind of fell off using, and I started using it again this year and I am loving it so much. It is so great for me. So that's all the way back in my bullet journal, so that is easy to find. This is something that I use every single day and I just love looking at it, centering my mind about things that I would like to reach at some point, whether it's this year or maybe in a couple of years. So that's my vision board. Then the next page, we have a little self-care checklist, if you will. So these are a couple of things that I like to do self-care wise. I don't do these all on a regular basis. Some of them I do daily, some of them I don't. It's almost just like a bit of a reminder. These are things that basically fill up my cup, that make me feel good. So if I am in need of some self-care and I don't really know what to do, this is where I will turn and see, hey, what are my options? What are things that have worked for me in the past? What is something that I might feel like doing now? Then we have one blank page, which leads to the books that I have read in that particular year. So we are about halfway through the year as I'm filming this, and as you can see, these are pretty full already. So that's why I have the blank page next to it, basically, because I will be using those as well. I know that I have done this for years, track the books that I'm reading, and I know I'm gonna need 3 to 4 pages for that. So this is actually something that is fun for me to look back at, look at the books that I've been reading at a certain point in my life. And it's kind of just nice to see, hey, what books did I read this year? It's not something that I'm necessarily needing to keep track of, it's just something that is fun for me to do. What have I been really into? And also there are books that I am rereading, so it's kind of nice to see like, hey, when did I last read this book? Then turning another page, we are at my affirmations. So this is not necessarily a page that I use a lot, but again, it's just nice to have. These are affirmations that just make me feel good whenever I do use them. I don't use them on a daily basis by any means, but when I am in need of some feel good, something, just a little something, it's nice to have this page so I can just kind of read through them and lift my spirits, because that's really what I have this for. And this is something that does change basically with every bullet journal. There are bullet journals where I have a couple of these already there, but with every bullet journal I am adding some new ones. I'm also taking some old ones out that don't really speak to me anymore. It's just nice for me to have, really. That is my bullet journal for you. That is the system that I'm using currently. So the fun thing about this is that the original like bullet journal system, you are having like the daily overview basically, which uses the actual bullets. I don't use that anymore. It has completely changed while using it for me, but I do like having everything in the one book, which does come from the bullet journal system. So throughout the years it kind of evolved to work for me and for my brain, which is why I like it so much. I like just having everything in this one book. So work, personal, anything, it's in here. I don't have to keep track of a couple of different like planners or overviews or anything. It's just all in my one little book, and that works really well for me. So yeah. So if you have any questions for me, do let me know. Also, do you use a bullet journal? What sort of pages do you like to use in yours? What works for you? I would love to hear it. I'm always really curious to see how other people use the system. I mean, I have periods in my life where I am diving very deep into the YouTube rabbit hole of bullet journaling or journaling in general. So it is definitely something that I do really enjoy. Also, I am using my fountain pens with this, which makes it so much more fun to use for me, because I really love my fountain pens and all of the fun ink colors. So if you have any questions for me, let me know in the comments down below, and also let me know, do you use the bullet journal system and how do you use it? So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and maybe subscribe to my channel, which would really truly help me out a lot. I wish you a lovely rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!